Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour. Today, Liam and we are going to review the upcoming Salem's Lot, where yes, Liam was
Electrical.
right and I was wrong because it's coming out. Like I have nothing to say. It's coming out. And we finally got to watch it. So there you go. I said it. Liam was right. Comes out October 3rd. It's written by Gary Doberman and Stephen King, and it's also directed by Gary Doberman. It stars Louis Pullman, Mackenzie Lee, Alfre Woodard, and William Sadler, and a bunch of others. But those were kind of like the ones that really stuck out to me. So, what is this about? Full transparency, I haven't seen the original since I was a kid, and I never saw the Rob Lowe remake. Okay? So I'm only basing it on the movie that we're watching. Author Ben Mears returns to his childhood home of Jerusalem's Lot in search of inspiration for his next book, only to discover his hometown is being preyed upon by bloodthirsty vampires. And yeah, kind of in a nutshell, that's the movie. So, Liam, tell me, what are some of your thoughts?
Um, it was there. It happened, and somebody drugged Alfre Woodard.
Uh,
I assume there was Ket involved to get that kind of acting from her because she was terrible.
I think what Liam's trying to say, and I'm gonna kind of have to agree, there's a reason this thing has been delayed and delayed and
Yeah,
delayed, and there's a reason. Honestly,
we've
my
we've had
this
hope.
yeah, we did.
I've had
Uh,
hope.
well, you did. Yeah, I didn't think it was coming out, so I was like, I gave up.
I had
And
hope.
uh, it's probably good that this didn't come in theaters, in my
It's
opinion.
actually so I've actually found out it is actually coming out in theaters, just not in the US.
Oh, okay. I was like, "Ooh." Yeah, this to me is definitely a streaming movie. But I will say, production-wise, it didn't feel like that, except I don't know if it was the screener, but I have to ask. So, and if this is the movie, then that's disturbing. Was the sound off for you? Like, did the
Like
sound
go
it
up and down.
it sounded way too loud no matter what volume setting I had it on. Like, it was just overly like it's hard to explain. Like if I don't know. Like I
So
felt like
I did have issues with the sound.
okay.
I assumed it was the screener, but mine
Okay.
wasn't that it overly sounded loud. Mine was at certain points things were too quiet,
Okay.
and then at other times things were too loud. Which, if you've watched our recent things we hate in horror, is obviously something that I've mentioned happens quite a lot in horrors. So I just assumed it was
The
what they
movie.
decided to do.
Oh, okay. Well, if because I'll tell you what, I do plan to rewatch it when it drops on
I
Max
don't.
because I just want to see if that change like because I wanted to know if it's the screener versus the actual finished product.
Yeah.
Um
Well, if we both had different issues with the sound,
I think it's
I'm
probably the
assuming,
screener.
I would assume it's the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, then that sound was bad. In my opinion, sorry. Sorry. I'll tell you. Liam watched it once. It was a struggle for me to get through. We'll just say that to be polite. But it
Like, I
was
had treats.
Liam was ready.
I was ready. I was excited. Like,
He really was.
if you've been watching this channel for a while now, you know that the original TV miniseries of Salem's Lot is one of my favorite horror shows. It's
Hmm.
a film now, basically. Is one of my favorite things of all time. So I was very excited for this. I was like, oh, it's going to get like an updated modern budget. They've said they're going to be going with like practical effects and things like this. I was I was ready. I was invested. I wanted to see it. Like, and I've been sitting here waiting patiently. Like, no, they're going to
Yeah.
release it. They're going to release it. They are going to do it. They're not going to sit on it because if they were going to write it off for tax purposes. We would already know it's being kept for a reason. Like, it's fine. It's going to come out. And I was right. I was rewarded.
Were you rewarded?
I was rewarded with sour candy. I
will say
there was script issues, there was acting issues, there was editing issues. If I'm honest, I feel like there was a longer, possibly better movie that has been dissected by the studio. And I think that dissection is obviously murdered it as far as I'm concerned. I think they've seen some of the acting choices that were being made and seen some of the script issues and just thought, well, we don't want this at all in this state. We're just going to see what we can do.
This is blistering. Oof. Okay, yeah. I will say I've talked to a couple of people because I've never read Salem's Lot, but I it's on my list now to read because
I've never read it. I can't read a Stephen King novel. I'm sorry. I've tried so many times. They're just so
they're just not for you. Let's
boring.
Put it that way. Oh, F that.
When you're reading them, I can't read them. I can't listen to them. He doesn't write well. He doesn't write good sentence structure. Ooh, I'm sorry. I don't care.
Well,
he might be the most famous person in horror when it comes to horror writing, but he can't write an end. He can't finish a story properly.
I disagree.
And he can't. No,
I didn't know we were going to be disagreeing like this.
He overly describes everything. Something that should take a page takes a chapter. Like,
okay, well,
so I'm all good with editing down Stephen King.
Rowling, okay, no, I'm just kidding. We hate her. But I actually love The Stand. It's one of my favorite novels of all time, seriously, and it freaked me out.
To be fair, I haven't tried The Stand. I've tried a few of his most popular ones, and I just can't get through them.
That's also why I don't like a lot of the Stand remakes. But back to Salem's Lot, I do plan to read it. I will say my issues with this were definitely, yes, the acting choices were something else. Honestly, I felt like this might have just, well, I don't know necessarily if I'm going to blame the acting because if they're not given enough, because I will completely agree that script was just not the best. No. And I would also agree that maybe there were things that were left on the cutting room floor because there's a lot that I feel is not explained. And kind of where I was going is like, I've chatted with folks who have read the novel, who have seen also the miniseries, and Salem's Lot is not apparently something that can be contained into a movie, even as long as this movie is. It should be longer. Because I do feel like there was a lot that we just was not explained. But also, as you said, there were poor choices, honestly, made by the characters, and that's what really frustrated me about this movie.
Yeah.
But also, too, when they're trying to warn them at times, things happen so quickly. I'm like, what? Hold up. What? Huh? Whoa, we need to take a step back. But if there is something I will praise, I did love the vampires because they kept that true to like how most of it looked from the original, like the main design.
Yeah, yes.
I really enjoyed that. I even thought, even though I was like, okay, these eyes are crazy when they like lit up, but at times I kind of enjoyed that. So
yeah,
I have to praise that I loved the vampires and their movement and the way that they were vicious.
Yes. So yes,
that I loved about this.
I will agree with you on the vampires. The vampires were excellent. I think the way they've kept it in line with how we know the vampires in this world to be, but plus them a little bit. They look better, if that makes sense. Like the stuff with the eyes that we know from the original, we know from the books and all this stuff. Good, excellent work. The floating, the transformation, all of that stuff, very good.
I think they didn't miss a beat on that, in my opinion.
No. It had good atmosphere. They created a very good atmosphere, apart from the final act. Terrible atmosphere in the final act.
Wait, hold up. I love the final act. Oh my goodness. I actually enjoyed the final act. I thought it was
It was too quick.
Oh, okay.
It was too underplayed. It was not well shot.
Oh. I think that
it looked very cheap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the problem with this movie is editing, because, and script, to be fair, but I think there was a bigger script, which is why I'm like,
yeah,
I think there was a 3-hour version of this film.
And absolutely, and I think they should have, like, yeah. Also,
because,
I did forget to mention Jordan Preston Carter, because I liked him as Mark. He was the only character in this movie that I actually enjoyed a lot.
Yes, excellent casting.
That little kid
for Mark.
Ass. Yes,
he was amazing. But again, even though he was amazing, I still had problems, because I was like, there's no explanation as to why he is suddenly all just like, okay, I'm a fighter now.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, wouldn't you after what happened? Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like he had that fight in him when that scene happened.
Yes, he did. But it was like, there was no build up, if you know what I mean. Right. It was very just.
Yeah, he was me.
And then it was okay. So I was like, okay. Even though the before and after was excellent, I needed the journey. I needed the journey in there. I thought it's because it wasn't the one from The Boys, it was the twin, wasn't it? Well, it's because it was Ryan. It's Ryan from The Boys' twin.
I know.
With one of the other kids. Is it father? Oh. I'm sure it's like Father Callahan or something. No. That's
the priest.
Yeah, what am I talking about? Isn't he Callahan though? Isn't his actual name Callahan?
I can't remember. See, this is also a problem.
I've got the list but I can't find him on the list. I thought it was something with a C, so I just assumed he had a weird name.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad that I can't remember that character's name.
I'm going to IMDb.
But I will say, the reason why I liked the final act.
He's Nicholas Cravetti.
Oh.
I knew it was something with a C. That's why I would just get Callahan.
Oh, Danny's character. Gotcha.
Yes, Danny. He was good. Like when he was like worried, and then he was good post worry.
Yeah.
I would say
good as a vampire. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, right now you probably know is the vampire. Lewis Pullman. He was there. He tried.
Sorry.
That was about it.
I was
my main issue, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I love her so much. What was Alfre Woodard doing? What was she doing?
I don't think her acting was that atrocious. I do think it was off, like
terrible.
Okay.
She wasn't in, like, everybody else fit together in the way that they were acting. It was, nothing was over the top, but nothing was underplayed.
So you think she gave like a B-level movie? Like she was on a different...
Alfre Woodard was acting like she was in this like 1960s schlock B-fest. Like it was weird. It was the choices were so weird. Everything was over exaggerated. And she's supposed in the book, in the miniseries, she's supposed to, the doctor's supposed to be like the
level-headed one.
The level-headed one. And Alfre Woodard was the one that was doing ridiculous things. And I was like, what is this? What are these? What are you doing right now? Because it's weird and it shouldn't be happening.
Okay, all right.
But
I don't know if it was that egregious. I've seen worse
yeah,
acting, not in this film, but I've seen
I
worse
also
acting.
didn't understand what was the point in bringing on Euron Greyjoy um, for 30 seconds worth of screen time. That character has a lot more to do in every other adaptation.
Yeah, he was
He was
there.
pointless.
Yeah, he was like barely. Yeah, I will say,
Pointless.
I have to go back to the final act because this is why I enjoyed it. When that popped off and that thing flew, if you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
I I bust up. I was like, because it was so sudden, I was dying. And honestly, that's the moment where I perked up and the film was like, okay, I'm strapped in now. Oh man, because up until that point I will say yeah, it's a movie, and normally when we like it's a movie, like it was fine. eh, I mean it wasn't overly terrible. I was bored through a lot of it.
Honestly, I sound like obviously I'm like ripping it apart. I feel like
Because
I
you
sound like
love
I'm ripping it
no,
apart.
I totally
But
get
I
it
think
because
that's just because I love obviously the previous. I haven't seen the Rob Lowe version. Because I had a feeling that the Rob Lowe version would be like this version, so I didn't want to sully it. But then I feel like now I might want to watch the Rob Lowe version to get this one, taste
I'm
of this one out
probably
of my
gonna
mouth.
need to watch it now.
Um, I I didn't hate it. I was just disappointed,
Ooh.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all. Ooh, you know what? You know, you always like as a child when your parents are like, "I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed." You feel worse when you hear that. And honestly, yeah, this had a lot of potential because I think too. I mean, the budget was there at times.
Yeah.
Um, and good casting in a sense, but again, yes, maybe the acting choices at times were a little poor, and the writing definitely fell short for sure. um
I I'm not gonna harp on the writing because I'm unclear if it is the writing that was at fault or the way it was edited, because I feel like some of the stuff that was written, like the
mhm,
stuff with Matthew Burke, Bill Camp's character, was very good and it was very
yeah,
well written. And there was some good, well written things in there.
mhm.
But because of the way it was edited, I'm unsure if it was just they couldn't write,
We
so
just
cut
didn't get a
things
complete
out.
story is what you're telling
We
me.
didn't get a complete story, so I can't tell who was at fault here. I'm leaning towards, due to the delays, the studio.
Okay. Yeah, no, look, you're not
But
wrong.
who knows?
I'll give yeah. Wait, how are we kind of matching today? I just noticed that. That's funny. We didn't even plan on this. Okay. Look at us
We
work.
went for our
And we're
neon dream.
we did. Like yeah, mine says like the like says my name on the back in Barbie font, but you know, whatevs.
I used to have an exact jacket from ASOS, and it was a gay pride collection, and it was literally that, and it was like, but it had long sleeves.
This is the
It was
one of a
literally that
kind
pattern.
from Amalia, you know.
Nah.
But anyways, so okay, yeah, and it's funny because we're kind of on the same page for this film, which
Yeah.
for the most part, like I disagree with some of your comments, but again, it for me, it was definitely a struggle to get through. I think this is a good streaming movie in terms of I would have been mad if I paid to see this in theaters.
Yes. Yes. On
Uh,
HBO Max with a bowl of popcorn, maybe an edible, so you can
uh
switch your brain off a little bit. You probably not going to hate it.
wouldn't go that far.
You're
I
probably going to like you're going to be there. You're going to be invested in the film. You're not going to enjoy the film, but you're going to be invested in it.
okay. It looks nice.
And
It
you're going to
sounds
get like
beautiful gowns,
for you
beautiful gowns.
Americans, fall. You're going to get the fall vibe. Like you're going to get the
Don't
vibe
say
of the
you
season.
Americans when you and George are the worst when it comes to pumpkin spice
Yeah,
lattes.
but we say autumn, so I'm
Oh,
nobody in the UK watches our channel, so I'm not going to say get them autumn vibes. I'm saying for you Americans,
oh.
fall vibes.
No, we say autumn. We say fall and autumn. It just depends on the person. Because
I
you know
was just trying to be nice.
you've got autumnal season. you know, autumnal
Oh,
vibes, so it just depends. But yeah,
really great. Are you
again,
going to get them?
yeah, I honestly, I'm trying to rate the movie, and I would probably give it a 2 out of 5.
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Yeah, I'd probably go with it. I'd go with a 2.
Again,
I
look,
think.
I mean, it was. I just feel like after watching it, I've, let me put it this way, because I've watched over just recently. I've watched like some really crazy good films, but this film just felt like this film just was like a downer in a sense, because I will also say I was excited to
Hmm.
watch it since it actually came out, but I was just kind of bummed because it did have potential. And
Yeah.
as Liam says, I would look, we don't know if there was studio interference. Most likely there was. If there wasn't, yikes. Um, but yeah.
Oh, like we need to get at the bottom of it. Was it the studio or was it the writer? Because if it was the writer director, he should not be writing and directing again without
Oh,
oversight. Um, or he should be giving one task, not both. If it was studio interference, give the lad a second chance. You know what I mean?
oh, so I went ahead and decided to look up what this man's written before.
I
Um,
haven't. I could be
don't look it
slagging the
up. Don't
studio
look. No,
off.
no, no. Don't look it up, because I'm gonna tell you, and I think you may kind of be right. Um, he wrote The Nun too.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, sorry. He wrote The Nun, not The Nun 2. I'm sorry. He wrote The Nun. Ooh. He
Mhm.
wrote actually, okay, he's written, I think, holy he's written Annabelle.
Which one? Your internet cut out. Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
Um he wrote the screenplay It, the
Okay,
most
that's
recent
good.
one. Oh, I know you never saw this, but I loved it. Okay, he did Swamp Thing, the 2019 TV series that was highly
I
underrated.
didn't get to see it because it didn't come out here, and I just forget to watch it on the seas.
I'll give him
Um,
credit. Yeah, that was good.
but that was
So
something that I know is universally considered to be very good. So I
yeah,
wouldn't again. That's again. I wouldn't.
okay. So he's had some hits. He's had some misses. And this one is definitely a miss for me. If we're talking that, but
Yeah.
he's actually only also directed one film prior, though. Annabelle Comes Home. That's his only directing
Okay.
credit previously to this.
People
So
enjoyed
maybe
that one though, didn't they?
I did. I liked
Yeah,
Annabelle Comes
that
Home.
was a one that was enjoyed. So,
I think again, he's just getting his feet wet with directing.
Andy wrote Annabelle Creation.
Did he, or was
Now
it
that you
based
finished,
on his? Oh,
no,
based on
no, it says
characters.
writer.
Oh yeah, it said he was.
Oh no, it says based on characters created by and written by.
Okay, so like again, he's
Okay, so
again.
he has good writing credit.
So maybe it was the studio.
So I'm going to go with it was the studio.
All right. So there you have it. Watch Salem's Lot when it comes out October 3rd. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll be in the comments to either agree or disagree, because we like to do that here. Uh, but hey, if you love this movie, I'm happy for you. Because if
I'm
there,
more power to you.
yeah, because I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So that's a plus. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's like in this weird space
It's
of
like a movie I'd put on, but not really pay attention to.
I would never watch it again, but I'm
Oh,
not mad I watched it.
you know what? That's fair. I'm going to go with that too. So again, we both give it a 2 out of 5. Let us know your thoughts, your comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, because we're going to be putting out some more reviews, maybe some interviews. You never know. So until next time, y'all. Bye. And we promise we didn't really hate it like that. No, just kidding.